Controversial opinion, and it's not the fact that a handful of folks on YouTube don't like it when I use this freckle filter. I think it's silly and I love it. I always wished I had freckles. The controversial opinion is even controversial for me. I keep going back and forth on it, but where I have settled for the moment is that I don't think we should be actually spending very much energy at all worrying about converting Trumpers. I don't actually think that we need to be stressing about evangelizing to them. Do I think we need to give them a soft landing and be welcoming to folks who are like, oh shit, I done fucked up. I need to take accountability. I regret my decision to support the Trump regime. I regret my vote. And I am now starting to gain class consciousness. I'm starting to wake up. I'm starting to realize how I have been hoodwinked by billionaires who only want to oppress me. I am realizing that the enemy is billionaires. The enemy is not brown people. The enemy is not folks on food stamps. I am waking up to that reality. Yes, we need to give those folks a landing place. We need to say, you know what? It's not too late to join the party. Come on in. But that's different than trying to make a point of converting folks who are MAGA. I made a video last night. You can go watch it if you're watching this on YouTube. I'll probably cut it in at the end. When I was feeling quite salty because I had made a few videos that I was like, y'all, I'm really tired of hearing the excuses as to why you cannot contribute to resisting the fascist regime that is trying to take over the US, why you are unable to stand up for your own liberty, for your own rights. I'm tired of hearing excuses. How we need to reframe the thinking from here's the reasons why I can't engage. Here's my laundry list of excuses as to why I can't get with the program and stop the fascist takeover of the US. But instead needs to be here are my skills and ability and how can I contribute? Where can I plug in? What role can I fulfill? How can I be someone who helps fight for democracy, helps fight for my community? Understanding that it's going to take a diversity of skills in a very complicated, massive movement to save ourselves. Right? I've said endlessly, it's not just folks protesting in the street. It's not just all our union workers walking off the job in sustained protest for however long it takes. There is a tremendous amount of behind the scenes work that I would argue is largely women's work, is a place where we as women, especially women who are used to being caretakers, caregivers, we have a lot of strengths. Coordinating childcare, meals, transportation, bail funds, setting budgets, planning meetings. These are very traditional feminine skills. Anyone who runs a household, any homemaker has all of these skills. And so when folks are like, oh, I can't protest because I've got 2 little kids, cool, there's still something else you can do. So I don't want to hear, I can't do anything. That's the kind of comments I was getting. I can't do anything because I've got little kids. Or I can't do anything because I'm disabled and can't come out to a protest. That's not true. You can call your electeds. You can send emails. You can donate money to the ACLU or Indivisible. There are ways each of us can plug in, and I really want to encourage folks to be creative, to be ingenious, and to realize, have some radical acceptance that we are going to have to make big sacrifices. This is not going to be easy or convenient for any of us. It is a big ask, and it is a necessary ask. Or we're just going to be accepting of our oppression for God knows how long. So in the context of that conversation where I was like, I'm just really frustrated with hearing why people can't plug in, why they want everybody else to save us, but nobody wants to save themselves. And they are excuses that just don't hold water for me. And so when someone had repeatedly given me excuses as to why they couldn't do anything, I made a video reply and I called them Pookie. And I had, again, no hate to Heather. Sorry to go on a little bit of a tangent. No hate to Heather and no hate to the other couple women in my comments, but white women did not like the fact that I called somebody Pookie. First off, in an off-the-cuff video, I'm a human being and I'm allowed to be exasperated with folks who are giving excuses. I don't care if you think they're legitimate or not legitimate excuses. Reframe the question. It's not why I can't do it, it's what can I do? These folks who were replying and taking issue with what I said were saying, like, you need to make people feel included and accepted, and you need to be gentler with them. Basically, you need to coddle them and you need to protect their feelings. And in my reply video, I was like, so this is a concept known as the white woman's right to comfort. And if honestly somebody is saying to me that I will withhold my skills, my finances, my resources, my availability from a just cause where I am needed to contribute because other people didn't coddle me, didn't handle me with kid gloves, didn't make the extra effort, spend the extra bandwidth and resources to make me feel sufficiently welcomed, then wow, that's really sad. That's sad for that person. But I promise you I'm getting back around to working with Trumpers, I promise you. We don't have the energy or the time right now to be hand-holding everybody. That's great if there are folks who feel that that's their calling or whatever, to midwife these folks' emotional growth. But I want y'all to be grown-ups and to understand that your feelings don't matter as much as the lives of other people, as much as our freedom, as much as saving democracy. If you are willing to forego helping because you got your fifis hurt, that is horrible. And I realize that that person would have been a black hole for my energy or the energy of whoever all the way along in this process. And I feel that it's very much the same way about Trumpers. The women in my comments, I was like, you are willing to give so much energy to the comfort of other white women in order to get them to come on board. I wish you had the same kind of energy to give for fighting the oppression of every other person in society. Again, this is white women's right to comfort. And I think it's very much the same with Trumpers. We have to be really careful about where we're putting our energy. We need to not be playing savior in a scenario that I honestly liken to Beauty and the Beast, right? Why is it that we, as folks who need to be putting our energy, our time, our resources into saving ourselves, are being diverted by a minority, by folks who are not receptive, who are not deconstructing, who are not bringing themselves over to our side? Why are we feeling like it's our job to evangelize to those people and to fix them, right? To rescue them and to make them see the light? This is very, very much a behavior that we as women, especially white women, are conditioned to do. To save toxic people, to save bad men, to save toxic men. We think we can fix him, right? That is a lot of what I think is going on with folks who are so anxious to reach out to Trumpers. And I would just say we have limited capacity. We have to focus our energy and our resources on the avenues that are going to yield fruit, on the strategies that we know are successful. And I think it may be controversial. I understand why folks want to reach out to MAGAs and want to attempt to convert them. My understanding is that folks are not going to leave the cult of MAGA and deconstruct because you are enticing them. That is something that they have to get to a place on their own where they are ready to leave. They have to get to a place on their own where they are starting to deconstruct and question their worldview. And no amount of hand-holding from you, no amount of ego stroking and attention giving from you is going to expedite that process. And so I really think it is not only a waste of our energy, it is a distraction that keeps us from focusing on the work that will be efficacious. There are enough of us to get the job done that needs to be done. It's not our job to midwife the awakening of MAGAs. It seems like a tremendous waste of energy, a fruitless exercise. If folks are already partway on their journey, or they're like, hey, where's the party? How do I show up and contribute? I realize like, I was involved in something that was not good for me and not good for the country, and I want to make amends. Cool, let's grab those folks, let's fold them in, let's bring them along. But the pursuit of folks who are fully immersed, folks who are still thinking that Elon Musk is uncovering corruption in the government and that he's cutting waste instead of just enriching himself and carrying out petty revenge against departments and organizations that were investigating him for all kinds of illegal actions. We don't need to be spending hours engaging and debating with those folks. They're not yet reachable, and we are keeping ourselves distracted. We are thinking, I can save him. If I just love that beast enough, I can break the spell and he will turn into a prince. But that's not going to happen. I think we have to keep ourselves focused on the work that we know is strategic and the work we know will yield results, which is that we need to get busy organizing and showing up to a sustained, multi-layered resistance. Boycotting, sit-ins, walkouts, marching in the streets, calling our reps, doing the work of building a resistance from the folks that are here and want to get organized, rather than going and playing savior somewhere else, wasting our time and energy and resources. So I don't know if you think that's controversial, but that's where I'm at today.